Hello again, viewers. For this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the last of the Machine Tribe. It's certainly been a long time coming.
Okay.
And our first battle is going to be against the Girlborg unit. I'm opening with Panther Robot.
Let's do this.
And the Panther Robot is a combination of Proto-Panther and Panther Vehicle. And like the other Transformers, it places what were the X attacks of its component Borgs onto a charge attack. In this case, the wheel attack and the Panther laser. And while the wheel attack isn't quite as effective as it could be on smaller Borgs, he still maintains the excellent melee, which is good because it's keeping this Angel Nurse off balance instead of healing her allies. And while this fight is listed as against the Girlborg unit, it's really against the Girl and Nurseborg units, which means you're going to be seeing multiple Angel Nurses and Rescues alongside every Borg in the Girl tribe. As you can tell by the enemy's GF energy, it makes for kind of a long fight, and which is why I brought Mana along for support. Unfortunately, our Guard Witch isn't much help against this onslaught, especially when both of the offensive enemies seem to focus on me. And with the last hit from Battle Girl's missile, Panther Robot is down. Next up is Eagle Robot. And he's a combination of Proto-Eagle and Eagle Jet. And while he replaces the Eagle Buster for the ability to transform, he still has Proto-Eagle's amazing melee attacks. That's really for the best, as Jet mode is really only used for moving around, as Eagle Jet's melee isn't very good, and as an Airborg, its shots only track if you're facing your enemy, which is kind of difficult to do in most situations. Still, it looks like Mama's Guard Witch was taken out, and now she's got her own Angel Nurse on the field, so I could certainly use that help. Spinner Girls are actually pretty threatening in this fight, as when you're using larger Borgs, you get hit pretty easily, and the damage can rack up pretty quickly if you're not paying attention. And unfortunately, I take out a few Borgs in this power burst. And of course, it never lasts as long as you'd like. I think I intercepted that Angel Rescue's healing, which is great for me, and not so great for the enemy. And at least I got rid of that Wire Girl, and now I can focus on the healer. Because an Angel Rescue would definitely take pretty much any Borg the enemy fields and bring it back to full, no matter how much they were damaged. Tried to take out that Spinner Girl, but didn't manage it. One problem with Eagle Robot's wild swings is that if your ally is a type that needs to get in close, you're more likely to hit them, which is especially bad with Angel Nurse out in the field. Although it's good that I intercepted that Angel Rescue, because she didn't heal our ally, it did kind of waste my time in Power Burst by leaving me stuck in the healing animation. Still, I guess I'll take it, as it's better than the alternative. Yeah, we're a little over halfway through the fight now, and you can see they're starting to field the big guns of the tribe, as it were, with Barrier Girls and Cyber Girls taking the field. At least Mana's getting her heals in. I think I locked onto the regular Cyber Girl at the time, when it would have been better to be on one of the Super or Hyper, whoever had the remote guns on me. Still, one less set of things firing at me is always good.
Stop it. Just relax.
And at least Mania was able to get a last heal in before losing her Angel Nurse.
This is so hard.
Now that with the ally tag in the way, I'm not sure what her fourth Borg is. Although if I remember her lineup correctly, it's Panther Witch. Oh, and when that big spell connected, it's definitely Panther Witch.
Whoa.
This is almost kind of unfair. Still, after getting smacked around by the girl tribe, I'll gladly take this. And getting pumped up as Eagle Robot and activating Power Burst, that's just too much fun. And with that, it's game.
Alright, we all did it.
This battle comes with a lot of prizes, as the girl tribe doesn't have the most expensive Borgs, neither does the nurse tribe. So it means good performance will get you a lot of Borgs. I believe I got at least a crystal and a Borg for almost every Borg in the tribe that showed up. Except Cybergirl Super and Hyper, unfortunately. Still, it was definitely quite a haul. And with that, we'll move on to our next fight, the small battle. I'll give one of our new partners a chance to shine. I'll be opening with Victory Baron.
Let's go, my friend.
Now, Victory Baron is a combination of Proto King and Victory Jet. Kind of the opposite number of Victory Duke. That's certainly a good thing for this battle, as it's really just a series of Bastet and Sekhmet witches, along with a force full of powered gunmen for offense. And while getting shrunk once or twice isn't too big a deal, if you get hit too many times, it'll be really difficult for you to dodge projectiles, as being shrunk makes you move more slowly. For this fight, I prefer to take out the powered gunmen first, and while leaving the Bastet witches, as they don't really try shrinking me fast enough to make it worth targeting them first. Although they are still dangerous, even if the powered gunman is eliminated. Yes, while the spell wears off, if you go for a few seconds without getting hit, the timer resets for every time you're shrunk, in addition to making you smaller and smaller. So it's kind of in your best interest to dodge those spells as best you can. Because once you start getting comboed by them, you probably won't be able to dodge anything. You'll just be moving too slowly. And I don't want to use Power Burst, as at this size, it would just be kind of a waste. And I still wouldn't be moving too quickly. I can't even get into position to try and fight back. I'm just kind of slowly limping along until that accelerated shot takes me out. Still, next up is Cyber Atlas.
Sounds good.
Now I finally pop Power Burst. Like Proto Atlas, although just a bit better. Unfortunately, I can't show his real trick in story mode, as it is in Deep Fusion. But still, with remote guns and shoulder lasers. And it looks like the powered gunmen are finally down, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem. And it's really more about cleanup. Although that Sekhmet witch certainly caught me by surprise. Her very small spell is essentially getting hit by 2 small spells at once. And while just one isn't really enough to shrink you too much, if they catch you by surprise, they can kind of rapid fire on you, especially if there's more than one on the field. And you can end up really small really quickly. Well, again, it seems the enemy has focused on me as their primary target, leaving Sho to fly around with impunity, as I think he's only been shrunk when I've been off somewhere else. Now, those green spears that Sho keeps throwing out are his Beamwing Blue's acceleration scopes. They make any projectiles that pass through them fly faster. And while that's kind of a hindrance in this fight, as those small spells are flying fast and furious as it is, it's always useful to pump up your own shots when you can get it. Even if I'm not doing too good a job dodging small spells when they're not accelerated. Now, Cyber Atlas's remote guns are kind of hard to use, as they use the ammo for his B-shot. And if you charge up X and send them all at once, it'll use up all your ammo and just kind of hang around because they're trying to fire more, even though you don't have any more shots for them. And you can really only get the most use out of them in power bursts. Otherwise, it's generally better to just fire one at a time and rely on your shoulder lasers with X for your main damage. As you can see, I'm even smaller than Victory Baron was. Well, thankfully with Sho knocking them around, they don't really get to capitalize on that. And I'm not sure who won that.
Alright, that was too easy.
I guess it was Sho then. Still, victory is victory. So we'll collect our prizes and move on. Next up, we'll take this question mark. And for some reason, Orochi's fighting the Death Force now.
Here it comes. Let's do this.
Now this is a special battle, and it only appears if Orochi wasn't at the fight where Tama defected from the Death Force. Which means it'll only appear after your first playthrough, if you manage to never lose to Orochi. Now you can see the enemies certainly fielding a lot of Borgs with their high GF energy. But that's okay, because I'm using Cyber Mars, and he can certainly pull his weight. Cyber Mars is essentially a better Proto Mars. And while he can't fuse with Orochi, that's okay because we can still build Power Burst really quickly. And you may have noticed that as we move on in the game, the fights are getting longer as the enemy's fielding more and more Borgs. And generally, you wouldn't be fielding forces with only 1 or 2 Borgs, as that's just asking for trouble, especially in longer fights without, say, mana to heal you. Still, with enough skill, Cyber Mars can certainly take care of himself. And the bodyguards have come. Sapphire Knight even knocking me out of a combo starter. Oh, but I counter back and move in with Power Burst, our second activation in this fight. And I'm going to make very liberal use of the Mars laser there, as it's great for tagging enemies from the field and knocking them around, especially when they're smaller Borgs like these. course, I turn and take out that Angel Rescue quick. I probably should have realized something was up when I saw Ruby Knight's HP at full. Well, at least Orochi had been knocking it around a bit, so it wasn't at full health and went down quick. Yeah, that pair of javelins flying by. The Death Force is certainly not playing around. And in Power Burst, you can easily combo Mars Laser into itself, which is a great way for keeping smaller Borgs out of the fight for a few seconds, as you saw with Ruby Knight there. And while I definitely don't want to slouch on this Proto-Titan and eat a javelin shot, by itself it's not really too much of a threat, especially when I've got Orochi's help. I could probably just hang back and let Orochi use her Teleport Slash a few more times and build up Power Burst for the next wave. But that would be boring to watch, so I'll just make heavy use of that combo like I've been doing this match and take it out quickly enough. Although a bad swing gets me kicked in the face. Orochi's health isn't doing too good, so I'm going to hold off on Power Burst a bit until her next Borg warps in. That's a good thing that happened quick, as this series of Borgs is no joke. A Beam Gunner, a Cyber Ninja, and if I'd have to guess, Cybergirl Hyper to round it off. And Cyber Mars is definitely taking a pounding, and probably doesn't have much left. If I can get that Angel Rescue, it'll all be worth it. Unfortunately, the Cyber Shuriken take him down. Still, Cyber Mars did more than enough, and now the rest of the fight is down to Victory King. Victory King, as I said before, is the only Transformer with multiple alt forms. He's Proto King, Victory Jet, and Victory Tank, all rolled into one Borg. Now your positioning determines what you transform into. If you tap X while on the ground, you become Victory Tank. If you tap it in the air, you become Victory Jet. And if you're in the same position in your alt form, you go back to King mode. Victory King is a fun Borg to use, and incredibly versatile with both tank for power and jet for mobility. But at 4 pieces, and with only showing up in a single battle, it's incredibly difficult to get one. And surprisingly enough, the enemy activates Power Burst without a commander. I've been trying to get rid of that Cyber Ninja because it's injured, but that Deathwork Towel is just too annoying, and these remote guns are proving far more threatening than I thought they would. So I'm gonna have to get rid of this Cyber Atlas, and hope it happens before I take one too many pot shots and lose. Luckily we get our own Power Burst to counter, although I don't manage to get too much use out of it, as Cyber Atlas dodges my Victory Cannon shots. Still, Victory Beam is fast and does good damage. Although I'm certainly pulling this down to the wire. Good thing Orochi's Elemental Knight is really good at keeping things in place. All that's left is this Cyber Ninja. I definitely want to stay out of Orochi's way. Don't want any ally hits to end this fight. Thanks to a last Victory Cannon shot, That's game.
Alright, we'll never lose.
We got ourselves another piece of Flame Dragon. Oh, that's enough to make another one.
Hey! Huh?
Oh, seems Orochi's not too grateful.
Huh?
But still. At least she's not helping them anymore. And I guess brainwashing does explain everything. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.